And I kid you not, off a paper QR code, I scanned it. It was like 10 cents for this candy, and it came out of the machine. And I went, crikey! I used to be able to do this with BTC. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
This podcast is sponsored by Coin ATM Radar. When buying crypto with cash, an ATM is much more reliable and safer than meeting some random person in a random place. And unlike an exchange, which could freeze your account, you truly own all the crypto you buy. With Coin ATM Radar, you could find crypto ATMs and other services where you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies for cash. On their website, you can search by coin, address, if the ATM supports selling as well as buying, and you can also search by geo area, country, state, city. You can also check and compare actual current fees at different ATMs. If you want to find out more, head over to coinatmradar.com, which is coinatmradar.com. All right, so now we're recording. So, hey everyone, I have the fantastic pleasure of speaking with the man, the myth, the legend, Bitcoin Jason. How's it going, man?
Going good, going well. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, all of those things. It's because I've kind
Oh,
of been on a journey to sort of live all off of cryptocurrency for many years, and
mm,
it always kind of comes back to, oh, there's that one guy, that one crazy guy out in New Hampshire who's doing this, and it's not feasible for anyone else. And then over time, I just decided I'm going to start to see how many others there are. And once you start doing a little digging, I think I'm probably the loudest one. But there's a lot of people who are
mhm.
kind of more quiet about it or in their own kind of own lane. And so consistently, when people talk about, like, for example, Bitcoin Cash adoption, um, like a third of it has something to do with your name. It seems like. So I figure I better talk to this guy. So why don't you just real quick introduce yourself and like how you got into cryptocurrency as a whole?
Okay. All right. So, how I got into it? Well, I was intrigued by it because we had a lot of economists during the Obama um, presidency saying that we
Mm-hmm.
towards a demographic cliff, that they're just printing out too much money and it's unsustainable, and we're due for a currency collapse in America.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to drop ship, you know, G-Shock watches. Okay, get this right. I used to be able to get a G-Shock watch from Amazon for about 42 American dollars and get it shipped to Australia for $12. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now at that time, the Australian dollar was at parable, like dollar for dollar with American. Right. This is a kicker though. If you were to
Mm-hmm.
go to a retail shop, you're looking over $152 just to buy a G-Shock watch. And I went, I'll import these G-Shock watches from America through
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, and then I'll drop ship it and keep the change and use them. So it worked out all right. But I noticed that we're at Parable, and then they were having these podcasts, and I'm going, geez, the American economy. We had the subprime crisis and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And so I was sort of on the level, and then there was different guys come on. They were talking about Bitcoin. Max Kaiser, who I'm very disappointed in right now, which
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
is yeah. To me, all right. Put his personality aside.
Mm-hmm.
What he says he stands for is not actually what BTC is anymore,
Mm-hmm.
right? Bitcoin is that, but it's not in BTC anymore. And I found that out. Um, so I got into Bitcoin, and I messed around with different Bitcoin mining pools and stuff like that, trying to get a feel of it. I didn't actually get my first Bitcoin until 2016, about April, um, where Coinbase was available to us Australians, and we still had to pay tax on that. We had to pay like a 10% GST. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, we didn't. The GST came afterwards because then it's so hot, get revving up. Yeah, no, I got the Bitcoin then, and there was only three coins. There was uh, no, it was only two. I think it was Bitcoin and Litecoin. I think was the only. Oh, Ethereum. Ethereum was there. So there was only those three options, and the metrics on Ethereum. I thought, well, I can just make more up. So okay, there's no scarcity about it. Litecoin didn't did too much. I know that someone like a Google guy called Lee or something like that. He sort of like created his own thing and stuff like that. So it didn't really have like it was tied to a bloke, and then you had Bitcoin, which was like a mathematically generated thing, and it was Satoshi, and then yeah, it's like an open source project. I went okay, so I got it, got into like mining and different things like that, just to try and stack and save, and then different shops were around. Like if you were in Brisbane in the Valley, there's a place called Nom Noms, where you can get your food. You know, airport there was like you know, certain places in the airport, and in Townsville, I lived in Townsville. I actually bought an investment property there,
Mm.
and yeah, I was doing that, and then Bitcoin got expensive to
Yeah.
use, and then so I was at I didn't get go to a Bitcoin Cash conference in Townsville, Australia. It's known as the Bitcoin Cash City, and I think they had about 40 odd merchants. I can't quite remember because I wasn't in there. I was actually a maxi.
Mm.
It was like oh, BTC is like the real thing, it's the real deal. I didn't know anything. I caught on to the FUD. I thought, oh, all the misinformation that was coming out about BCH. I sort of was convinced enough not to investigate further.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at this after party sort of Bitcoin Cash conference meetup, and Aptizio is a company in Australia that does Bitcoin Cash um, development. Aptizio there and Co Valley was there. Anyway, Aptizio had a machine, and I always keep forgetting the name of the machine, but it was just a simple canning machine that just run off one lead from the power point.
Mm-hmm.
You could make it battery operated. It was just so small, right? And I kid you not, off a paper QR code, I scanned it. It was like 10 cents for this candy, and it came out of the machine, and I went, crikey! I used to be able to do this with BTC, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Because I remember when I was on the Gold Coast. I was on the Gold Coast
Yeah.
with my friend out and go, yeah, let's use Bitcoin, as a like something different, as a bit of a, you know, um, and it was just so bad to
Mm-hmm.
use to buy a meal, even with the travel by bit POS system. And so when I was in Townsville, Australia, and bought candy from a vending machine, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is this is what Satoshi wanted. You know what I mean? This is money for the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came to an awakening where I thought, why am I kicking around with this BTC when I got BCH? It's the same fundamentals,
Mm-hmm.
except one incremental, larger block size that grows when needed, according to more. And that sold it for me. And so it wasn't until I didn't actually do Bitcoin adoption or anything like that. I'm just like a normal person. I'm a consumer, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a guy. I'm not. I'm not someone that's like deep into technology and knows all the ins and outs and is on Reddit and all these different things. I'm none of that. I'm just a guy that's consumes it. I get it. I use it. I spend it. So I went. A situation happened where I had to move to the Gold Coast for a while, and I was working down there, and I cut my hand,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was off work. COVID and stuff was starting to ramp up, but yeah, I cut my hand, and I was bored out of my brain, very bored out of my brain, and I got to do something with myself,
Yeah.
because I'm on station. I'm on compo. I'm getting work cover. So on my way to the physiotherapist, I'm on my way to the physiotherapist, and there's this cafe there, and I love the coffee. I love his toasted sandwiches and all that sort of stuff. And I'm noticing he's starting to close a little bit earlier. Like I see signs of a business in distress, and when they start when they're doing well, they'll be open. They'll stay open. But when a business is in distress, they'll change their work hours and they start limiting it. So they close more often than they're open. Anyway, I went up there and there was this guy called Sonny. Strangely enough, his name was Sonny, and I was got talking to her right, and it was a quiet day, and it was just the right moment. I said, Sonny, I'm just thinking, man, like, what's happening? Why are you closing early? And he tells me, how business has been slow and stuff like that, especially because of COVID stuff happening. I said, listen, I'm into Bitcoin. Right. I didn't say Bitcoin Cash. I said Bitcoin. I'm into Bitcoin and crypto and that. I tell you what, how about I'll organize a meetup. Organize a meetup. We can come here at your lovely cafe, and I tell you, but I want to make a deal with you, man. How about you accept Bitcoin Cash? And he didn't know anything about it, so I just gave him a rough view. I actually, there's a beautiful thing about Bitcoin Cash is you can literally text someone Bitcoin Cash, and then if they don't have the wallet gets installed, and then they can receive. So I text him $5 Bitcoin Cash, right? And so he had his own wallet. And the boys in Townsville, they sent me some. I'll use this. The boys in Townsville, they sent me
Yeah.
these like 3D printed stands, right? And this is a tablet sort of thing. So I set them up a tablet, right? Out of my own money. And I said, look, first it was on his phone, but when we had the meetup, we had the actual stands. And I said, Sonny, look, this think of it, Bitcoin Cash is like cash. It's basically a internet payment system. But instead of going through the banks, it's just going from wallet to wallet. And some people have a hard idea understanding what a wallet is.
Yeah.
You got a wallet and then you got a bank account, and I had to explain that. Anyway, so he agrees. He reluctantly agrees because it's all new, and maybe I wasn't very good at explaining. And I said, "Look, Sonny, whatever is bought in Bitcoin Cash, whatever's paid, I'll back you, man, up to $10,000, because that's how much money I had lying around. I
Yeah.
can back you, dollar for dollar, up to 10 grand. So whatever's spent, we'll have this meetup. You get more customers. Well, you get more customers. You're a happy, man, because you got more customers through the door. I'm happy because I've got somewhere to spend my Bitcoin Cash. Like there's places, and I started bragging on Townsville how you can just use it there, and you can go overseas and use it. And people at the cryptocurrency meetup, they get to use cryptocurrency, which is what the meetup's all about. Everyone's happy, and then at the end of the day, if you don't want it, my man, I've got your back. You know,
Yeah.
I've got your back, and yeah, he accepted it, and we had meetups there, and I never underwrote him. He ended up keeping it. He ended up keeping it and doing something, because the Indians are very smart, mate. Indians are very, very enterprising. So he did that, and we had a meetup, and it was fantastic. I had like 13 people at my very first meetup. 13
Oh.
people there. And then from that meetup, I was invited to other meetups in Brisbane. They were a bit larger. You're talking about 50 to 100 people at times. So, and I met a guy called Gabriel, firstmeal.com. He used to be on YouTube, and he was on every day, talking about Bitcoin Cash. Anyway, I'm watching one of his videos. I don't normally watch crypto videos, but I'm starting. I watched this video, and Gabriel's on there, and looking in the background, I'm seeing this is near my place. This guy
Mm-hmm.
must be near where I live. So I shoot him. I go, this is actually filmed near where I live. You must be close by. And I met him. I met him at the casino, and we got talking. And then he said, Jace, you need to document what you're doing. You need to make a YouTube channel. I thought, oh really? What should I call what should I call it? And he said Bitcoin Jason. And so I did a search to
Mm-hmm.
see if the name was taken up and was there. And I said, okay, Bitcoin Jason it is. And so I've just been plugging through life, just putting Bitcoin Jason on there, and just as a user, as just an everyday Joe that uses and consumes Bitcoin Cash. I just put my lifestyle down, and that's how I got started.
Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty nice. Sorry, nice compliment. Sorry, I got something in my throat. That's a pretty
Yeah,
nice
you know.
comprehensive overview of the whole thing. Um, is that primarily what you do for work? Or do you have another job that does it? And if so, does it pay you in crypto, or is it, or is something
Mm,
where you earn fiat
okay.
and then buy it?
Yeah. So I don't want to break anyone's image of me, but I'm a tradesman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a tradesman. I'm a plasterer and painter by trade. So gyprock, you know, paint, insurance repairs, that sort of stuff. I accept Bitcoin Cash as payment for what I do. So they're the a big company though actually onboarded Australian Rock Walls. You can get your rock walls and your landscaping done from Australian Rock Walls, right?
Mm-hmm.
International. They won awards, and you can pay for your job in Bitcoin Cash. The reason for that is I says to Shane, the proprietor of the company, I said he wanted to pay me for my work, and I said I only accept Bitcoin Cash, and he could not understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He go, I'll just pay you straight in my bank account. I said I lied, right? I said, oh, I don't have a bank account.
Mm-hmm.
I just accept Bitcoin Cash because in my head I was thinking if we're gonna move down a direction, I gotta
Mm-hmm.
not just talk. I'm gonna actually walk it. I'm gonna actually live
Yeah,
it.
of course.
So I was trying to be someone that could not use fiat currency. I had to
Mm-hmm.
try and be a person. I had to be the Noah and build the ark,
Of
or I have to
course.
be the John the Baptist and be the crazy one, like he said, that's out in the
Mm-hmm.
field, just doing living an alternative lifestyle. And then all of a sudden, he's a crazy man, but we respect him because he like he knew what was coming and told us all about it. You know what I mean? So I
Mm-hmm.
says, yeah, I accept this. So I kit him up with a wallet. I'm showing him how to use CoinSpot. That's an Australian exchange that's pretty reputable. They're really safe, the safer ones, CoinSpot. And so I actually forced him to buy Bitcoin Cash so he can actually pay me. Now I went an extra step further. And I says to Shane, I said, I'm one BCH a day. I'm one BCH a day. And so what happened was Bitcoin Cash was dropping in price,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I said, Shane, you better get the Bitcoin Cash now because it's dropping in price, my man. It's going to be cheaper. Anyway, he didn't do it. I said, Shane, it's dropping. You better get it, so you can pay me. Virtually got around and paid me that, right? But when he started paying me, it was starting to go on the way up.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he paid me, and it was actually pretty good. And it actually dropped a fair bit. I'm glad I didn't get one BCH today like I did back then, but it dropped pretty big. But it seems to stabilize now. Anyway, it started going up, and I'm going, yeah, well, this is how I live, man. This is how I do things. Fast forward, um, I got when I did the onboarding and my YouTube channel was starting to crank up. I actually got approached by um, Code Valley and Aptizio and some people there in the Bitcoin Cash City to say, Jace, can you help us out and um, can you look after the merchants that we got? We've got no one that's actually got the time to go and visit these people, make sure they're okay, and handle their issues that they might have, and onboard merchants. And I was not working anyway because I had bad
Mm-hmm.
hand. I was going back to work on a light duty basis, but I fell into depression. I actually fell into depression, and I was struggling mentally with that. And I was earning really good money at my job. I was earning really good money, and I was my headspace was in such a way where I thought, you know what, I need a change. And I knew that if I went to Townsville, the Bitcoin Cash city, I can live on Bitcoin Cash. Even with the limited merchants that they had there, I know I could live more my ideal lifestyle because COVID happened, man. They shut my business down,
Mm-hmm.
right? They gave me all these rules and hoops that I had to jump through, man. I had to get vaccinated. I had to, um, you know, I had all these overheads. I had all these overheads, and they were only paying out a measly $700 when I've
Mm-hmm.
had like a $1,400 excess, overheads, running cost of businesses. I had squatters in my house, and I'm paying a rent, and they were just trying to bankrupt me, man. And luckily, I did have BTC, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have BTC and I've got BCH. They're the two coins I've really got, because I got the fork and all that. And BTC went like to I think $80,000 Australian that, and then so I bought so I end up um, swapping it for BCH, and I left off that. Otherwise, I could not survive. Right. Anyway,
Yeah.
they said, "Well, we like to pay you to manage the Bitcoin Cash city." So I became full time on Bitcoin Cash, like in earning. That's all I earned was
Mm-hmm.
BCH, and um, and I had for a period of time because the funding wasn't there anymore. I'm actually doing Bitcoin Cash adoption part time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had full time to focus on looking after the merchants and then raising them up again. So yeah, I get paid in Bitcoin Cash, and I made that decision to accept that as the option. Like, do you want to be paid by like when you they've got Amex, Visa, Afterpay, some other thing, right? At any
Mm-hmm.
time, the merchant can drop Amex because it's too expensive or it doesn't fit into what they want. You know what I mean? You don't have to use Afterpay. So what I've did is I've dropped the fiat down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm boycotting fiat and I'm boycotting BCH, Bitcoin,
Mm-hmm.
so Bitcoin Cash. So that's the way I am. Yeah. So um, if I'm not being paid in BCH, right? If there is that situation, I end up buying some anyway. So that
Yeah.
that's a long way around your question, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I
basically,
personally,
you prefer to be 100%. Sometimes it might be
that's
less
right.
because you have to do the fiat job, but even then you then buy some back at least. So
That's right. Yeah.
so bills now about all expense. So let's just start with like housing slash like utility bills and stuff like that. How
hmm
does that get
hmm
handled?
Okay. So the place I was living in, Bitcoin
Mm-hmm.
Cash was paid for rent.
Okay.
Electricity bill, well, that's a once every quarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I use a service called Living Room of Satoshi.
Yeah, I'm
It,
very
it,
familiar
it
with
can be
them.
on a bit of expensive side.
Mm-hmm.
It can be on a bit of expensive side, Living Room of Satoshi, but it's only like a few every few months. So those bills there, like your car rego, you can use those services, and it will convert your crypto into fiat currency on their end. Um, or you can say to someone, look, I'll sell you some BCH for some cash, so for some fiat, you know and I actually do that. I actually sell my BCH to locals here for fiat, to to pay that odd bill because it's still cheaper. It's a win
Mm-hmm.
for me because someone in the community is getting Bitcoin Cash, and it's a win for me because I save on fees.
Yeah.
Uh, so I look forward to the day when those third party systems either drop their fee rates
Mm-hmm.
or more companies become peer to peer. So when you're talking about groceries, okay, let's talk about groceries.
Mm-hmm.
Groceries, I do in Bitcoin Cash, peer to peer, no exchanges. This is not something where you go and spend your crypto, and the merchant is automatically swapping it into fiat. To me,
Mm-hmm.
that's right. So our merchants here, they accept Bitcoin Cash, and then they either hold it, have it as part of their investment strategy, or they use it among the community. We
Mm-hmm.
actually have merchants using other merchants. So yeah, groceries, Bitcoin Cash. You can get a helicopter ride in Bitcoin Cash. You can get scooters to ride around the Bitcoin Cash city with Bitcoin Cash. My dentist takes Bitcoin Cash. We've got a lot of places where you can virtually live off BCH. The rent thing is something that I had to do in a private
Mm-hmm.
deal with. Okay,
Of course.
the private one. Yeah, but you're finding utilities as yet. Like I like not. You could probably get like Alpha Top. You could
Mm-hmm.
probably use it for a phone. Phone credit thing. But yeah, so big bills like that, I still unfortunately use fiat. But the everyday thing where you go to shops is all Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah. And so it's food and or just basic groceries, and then we got like eating out and stuff. I'm sure that's probably easy. There's enough places
That's
that.
easy, man. I just on Tuesday I went to Thai Smiles,
Mm-hmm.
the most authentic Thai you could have. I mean, we've got three Thai restaurants on Bitcoin Cash. We got Aussie Thai Fusion, Aurora
Mm-hmm.
Thai, and Thai Smiles. Now, Aussie Thai Fusion, that's like a westernized Thai. You know what
Yeah.
I
Of
mean?
course.
Orotai, that's good. Orotai, that's good too. They're a funny merchant. They'll take Bitcoin Cash, but they'll do 50-50. So you pay 50% in fiat and then 50% in Bitcoin Cash, you know. And then with Thai Smiles, it's just no worries. You just go there and pay. And we actually had a meetup there where Roger Ver came in and did a dropped in on a live stream. So we had a meet up there. Yeah, so restaurants are good. Cafes, they're a dime a dozen. We've got hairdressers. Not that I need it. We've got hairdressers and hairdresser suppliers. So you got Pro Hair that has all the hairdressing supplies. Scissors and combs and sprays, and they sell it to our Bitcoin Cash merchants for Bitcoin Cash. And then there's a massive thing going on there. What else? Get your lawn mowing done, your house cleaning done, your air cons, your chippies, your plasterers, your painters. There's a lot of builders on it. The tradesmen love crypto. Particularly Bitcoin Cash because it's the new cashy. So
Mm-hmm.
in Australia, we've got this saying like, if it's a love job, you know. So I'm saying, say I'm doing a job for you, I'll be, oh, that would be a carton.
Mm-hmm.
Where when I was carton, which is
Mm-hmm.
used to be $35, because
Yeah.
a carton of beer is roughly an hourly rate
Mm-hmm.
for trading. So, but these guys, if they don't drink, they'll go, I'll just take cash or Bitcoin Cash, and they'll give
Mm-hmm.
you a discount. They'll drop their GST off and that. So a lot of guys, because they want to buy things online, or they know the appreciation of Bitcoin Cash will come because
Mm-hmm.
it's got the same metrics as BTC. They just accept Bitcoin Cash because they love it, and
Mm-hmm.
if they want to spend it, they can spend it. And they know in the back of their mind, the longer they hold it, eventually the rising tide with adoption, the rising tide will lift all boats. So yeah, that's the new caching.
So what about
Mm.
things like petrol, like for travel? Are there any
Mm.
stations that take it?
Yeah, I've been working on that one, and that's pretty hard because you got monopolies of franchises. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you got your BP. Um, there's these two I've been trying to nail down where they owner operated. On Magnetic Island, you can do that. So if I lived on Magnetic Island, I can get my fuel in that with it, but not on the mainland. So the way around that is I have a fuel card. So I have a fuel card that it's great for tax purposes anyway. So I have a fuel card. I just book everything on the fuel card, and then once a month I just pay it that way.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. What is a so? What's been the hardest thing that you found to pay using Bitcoin Cash?
The hardest thing. Mm. I would have to say the utility bills, the big things. Because all the everyone that does take it, it's just what once a merchant takes it, a business takes it, it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
There's the connections there. It's a win-win. You know, they get like a niche customer base where they will choose their business over another business just because they accept Bitcoin Cash, particularly if they're a tourist. Um, I find more problems. Yeah, yeah. So okay, that's a fair question because I was invited to speak at St. Kitts at the conference there,
Mm-hmm.
and I went starving when I was in LA and Miami when I was flying over there
Mm.
because all I've got is Bitcoin Cash. That's all I've got. I don't have cards or anything like that. Um, that I could really use. So when I flew over, I landed in LA, and LA airport is such a backwards airport, I tell you. Anyway, I've gone through there, and there was no merchants there that accept Bitcoin Cash as payment. And so I'm there, and I'm starving. I'm like, what am I going to do? And it was rough, and it was really hard to try and onboard someone there at the airport. Um, so I struggled there, and I had better success on the way back because then I sold some Bitcoin Cash to. And you talk about New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
New Hampshire is actually a great place to live. I would probably live in New Hampshire because I met a guy from over there, and
Hmm.
he gave me this
Oh, it's a
because I
gold
was
back.
telling, yeah. And so I use this as a prop when talking about Bitcoin Cash, about the limited
Mm-hmm.
vintage of it. This is 1,000th of an ounce, whatever it is, because people understand what gold is. Yeah. So the hardest thing is a place not accepting Bitcoin Cash where you got to use living room of Satoshi. That's probably the hardest thing. But the user experience is far more great, better than BTC or
Mm-hmm.
even other crypto. I tried using other cryptos as well. Um, because I'm a maxi. I'm a bit. I love BCH, but I also have a soft spot for Dash. I have a soft spot for Dash because I like from a user experience. I like the ability to be public on chain
Mm-hmm.
and privacy. I like that. I like that. I like that about Dash.
Mm-hmm.
Won't get into the other things about it. But I like so merchants, and I'm gonna veer off here. All right,
Yeah, of course.
people, because I'm going to answer a question that some people might be asking that can't actually speak right now. People go, what about privacy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So merchants um, want privacy to a bit, but they need to have their books open to a degree for the Australian Tax Office.
Mm-hmm.
So they're running everything by the books. The transactions need to be on like recorded and open and not scrambled and mixed up where
Mm-hmm.
no one knows what's what,
Yeah,
that
of
they're
course.
obfuscating. So the great thing about Bitcoin Cash is if you want to be open,
Mm-hmm.
it's there. Unfortunately, like like unlike with Dash, you can choose
Mm-hmm.
within your wallet whether you want to go private or public. Um, and maybe that will come with Bitcoin Cash. That will enable some sort of function within the wallet to do that. But um, companies need to show for their tax records, because if Bitcoin Cash, if they make a loss, they can actually claim that as a tax deduction.
Mm-hmm.
So then they needed to be on the blockchain and variable. So when they go through and do all their taxes, that it's there. And then once they do that sort of stuff, then they can start doing their privacy parts and putting it off, where people don't know exactly how much coins they've got in their wallets.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just to answer that question that would have come up. And then those for myself and others, we've got Cash Fusion. There's a guy working on CoinJoin and
Mm-hmm.
all these neat little things that are coming up. So um, yeah, so that's why I like Bitcoin Cash like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so. I guess the final question, more of I'm not sure if it's philosophical, but like, obviously, this is a very different way of living than a lot of people do, and
Hmm.
the obviously for you, it's been worth it. But is this something that you would tell other people to try to? Do you think you should tell other people to try to live the way you would do, or not?
I
What do you
do.
think?
I do. So um, I have casual meetups, and I get a lot of people that have been burnt by the government.
Mm-hmm.
If anything that we've learned that our government are puppets. They are vassals of a world government, the WEF. And guys, love it or you can put your head in the sand, but as long as you are putting faith and accepting fiat currency, you are basically aiding your own demise, our own demise. Guys, we have to do something, because if we don't hang together, we're going to hang separately. And we found that out during COVID. The people in Canada, the truckers, they found that out. People like Alex Jones and different podcasters, they found that out. Even um, someone was telling me here in the Bitcoin Cash City where their bank decided to withhold their money, and it was their money, but they could not withdraw it out. Even in Australia, they're coming up with rules where you can only withdraw so much amount per day and stuff like that. So, and now the Australian government has got this thing too, where uh, they've got this like thing where they got laws about your social media.
Mm.
They monitor your social media, and they can flag you, and they can post stuff and take stuff down, and it's like in Britain where they can like cancel culture, and there's cancel culture, there's all sorts of the world is really messed up, and it's been aided and facilitated by the WEF, the World Health Organization. And we quickly find out that we think that we've got control by voting, but we don't. We've got vassals.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a puppet king, and we've got like a corporation. They're a corporation. They're unelected, and they are dictating policy to our government, and they're making up like it's their brand idea, and that's the way to go, and that's what the people want. No, it's not. It's not like that at all. So, guys, you need to start now, because by the time you want to start, it's too late. So think ahead. Be a doomsday prepper. Make fun of them all you like, but just say to yourself, I need to start learning how to live off. uh, Like even if you were to okay, even if you were going to live off gold and silver, because
Mm-hmm.
people respect this,
Yeah, of course.
guys, you still have to build a network for it. Who are you going to get your haircut from?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you going to buy your groceries from with your gold back? Unless you do the legwork and be that guy or be that girl that says, I'll be your customer, and I'll bring other customers to you, to provide this unique service that none of your competitors do. No one else is doing this. There's no cafes that are accepting Bitcoin Cash. You know, you're in a prime position, because you will be the the cafe, or the service station. When tourists come from overseas and they want to buy fuel for their combi van to go around Australia, and you accept Bitcoin Cash, guess what? Bitcoin Jason's going to be at your service station, because using Bitcoin Cash is cheaper than using your card when you're
Mm-hmm.
traveling overseas, because the when I was in LA, they want to sting you for fee, like I think it's like 60 cents for the small transaction. you know so you're thinking about all these bank fees trying to um pay for things, when I went to St. Kitts, I was in St. Kitts, and it was like I never left home, mate.
Yeah.
It's like I did everything. I got my taxi. I went to restaurants. I bought food. I went and bought things. It's like I never left Australia, but I was in a totally different country. I saw the sunset twice on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a sunset twice, but yet it was like I was using Bitcoin Cash that I use in the Bitcoin Cash city, but I'm in St. Kitts, and like nothing has changed, but I'm in a different location.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way. That's the big grab for merchants with tourism and stuff like that. And it's a great way to get a bunch of people in. And for all those people that were just kicking the can down the road, it's
Mm-hmm.
just the can kicking down the road. You need to start now. And look, I don't care if it's Bitcoin Cash or Dash. And New Hampshire's a great spot,
Mm-hmm.
because you got a lot of freedom loving people that know what's up. They're more awake than anyone that I've ever met. I have the best conversations with people from New Hampshire. They're just something about them. They just like they're lovely people, right? And I wasn't even allowed to leave the LA airport because the vax. I'm unvaxxed. There, I said it.
Perfect.
So because I'm unvaxxed, right, I've got economic and movement restrictions on my life. How about that? How about that? Because I'm not vaxxed, I don't get social security payments as a vax person to look after, my children, or whatever like that. You know what I mean? I'm being economically sanctioned, discriminated, and opportunities robbed, and my freedom of movement was limited by the Americans, the home of the brave, the land of the free. The Americans need to wake up to themselves. Seriously need to wake up. They got this puppet president. You all know he's a puppet.
Yeah, of course.
He's a vassal. He's a vassal, man. He's not the president.
Mm-hmm.
Some boogeyman in the background, some group of people are pulling the strings, and that's what you voted for. Wake up, guys. Whether you love or hate, you've got you got RFK who speaks his mind. He's getting hammered. You've got
Mm-hmm.
Trump who speaks his mind. He's his own man. He's get hammered. Who's another one? You got the Vivaric guy. He's saying all the right things. I don't know much about him, but get this: you had Chelsea Gabbard,
Mm-hmm.
right? She's a Democrat, right?
Yeah.
And I don't, man, I would vote for her if I had to pick towards two evils. I would probably vote for Chelsea Gabbard, right? She was called a Russian agent and censored, and that. What about Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders, right? He was leading in the polls with the Trump and all that. He was like the man. Like he was a strong candidate against Trump. Guess what? His own party rugged him.
Of course.
So, guys, America, please, we need you to wake up and step up. We really do. The world needs you to wake up and step up and bring 1776. And I think to do that, guys and girls, is we need to start using Bitcoin Cash, or some sort of alternative, right? To start saying, you know what, we're not going to take your printed garbage, your play money, right? This thing here doesn't buy anything anymore,
Mm-hmm.
right? This here, I'm in Australia, right? I'm in
Yeah.
Australia. This is American dollar note. I use it. It's nothing to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? These are props, right? These are props. So this one here, this $5 note is lost value 14 times since 2000. Lost value 14 times, right? this is great. The gold's good, but how are you going to be able to trust someone giving you gold if it's not fake or not paying your services? And how can you break it down to the minute details of dollars and cents for paying for things?
Of
And
course.
it's hard to move, right? You got this. Well, this is funding wars, and they're just printing money. Printing money. This is we know that currencies collapse about every 100 years, right? And then I've got Bitcoin Cash, right? And I could load this up with some crypto, some Bitcoin, whatever you need, and be like this. So we've basically got two limited edition mintage hard resource unit of exchange that we can swap, whether you want gold or whether you want crypto. That's finite. That's got a deflationary value thing about it. That's not going to be printing more. That it can't be just like pre pooled or someone controlling what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You want something where no one can fudge it or change what it is.
Yeah.
And XRP, it's off the devil. It's you might as well just you might as well just use Bitcoin Cash because
Mm-hmm.
it's trying to solve a complicated problem. If they're complicating a simple solution where it's just peer-to-peer
Mm-hmm.
um, payments, you don't need banks. Get rid of them.
Fantastic.